It's the flow of blood through the heart. Blood coming back from lung through the pulmonary veins. These are larger veins. Into the left atrium is oxygenated. Normal oxygen saturation is between 90 to 100%. Now if you put oxygen saturation probe on your thumb or finger, it gives oxygen saturation of 98% roundabout. If you are healthy and if you take some few breaths, it reaches to 100%, meaning that your lung is completely saturated blood with oxygen passing through the lungs. So from left atrium, blood flows through the bicuspid valve. This is the bicuspid valve. This will open in this way into the left ventricle, and when this left ventricle, this will contract, that blood will be ejected through the aortic semilunar valve into the aorta, from there into smaller arteries, arteriole, and vein, diffusing all of the systemic arterial circulation. The blood then goes into the tissues of the body. This blood then goes into the tissues of the body, giving up some of its oxygen, not all of its oxygen, and it arrives back from the systemic circulation from the top part of the body via the superior vena cava, and from the lower part of the body via the inferior vena cava. And the partially deoxygenated blood, we will draw it in blue color. This is the partially deoxygenated blood which will enter into the right atrium. This is the right atrium of the heart. From there the blood will flow through the tricuspid valve. This is the tricuspid valve into the right ventricle. When this right how this will flow, the right atrium will contract and blood will flow into this right ventricle, and when the right ventricle contracted, blood will be ejected through the pulmonary arterial semilunar valve into the pulmonary artery, and this blood will move into each of the lungs. So the blood flow through the heart is regulated by 4 valves, that is the bicuspid valve, the aortic semilunar valve, the tricuspid valve, and the pulmonary arterial semilunar valve. Now connecting to the valve, there are tendinous tendines. These are called tendinous cords, or sometimes called cardiac tendini. These are tendinous structures, or cardiac tendines, which are connected to these valves, and what is their function? They hold the valves and prevent the backflow. These valves are in this direction, and they are joined by these tendons, and they prevent them from or reverse flapping, and hence prevent the regurgitation of blood from the ventricle into the atria, or the backflow of blood from the ventricle into the atria, because the valves, the main function of the valve is that it allows only one way flow of blood. So the valve allow flow from the atria into the ventricle and not back into the atria. The tendinous cords are rooted into the walls of the heart by specialized muscle called the papillary muscles. These are cardiac tendini and these are the papillary muscle. Now we have discussed the different layer of the heart, but we have left one thing, that is the layer which separate the four chambers, the two sides, that is the right side and the left side of the heart. This layer is called septum, cardiac septum, and it separates the right side of the heart from the left side of the heart. This is the cardiac septum. So this was the flow of blood through the heart. The blood coming from the lungs enter into the left atrium, and from there it moves into the left ventricle, and when left ventricle contracts, it ejects blood into the systemic circulation through aorta, and aorta distribute this blood throughout the whole systemic circulation to the whole body, and this blood gives oxygen and nutrient to the various tissues in the body and come back through the superior and inferior vena cava into the right atrium. When right atrium contracts, it gives blood to the right ventricle. When right ventricle contracts, blood is sent to lungs for oxygenation. The pulmonary artery, it carries blood into the lungs for oxygenation. This one artery will supply, and this one will supply to this lung. So blood is carried into the right and left lung for oxygenation purpose. In the lung, this artery will break into arteriole, and then into venule, and then into smaller and smaller arteries which are called the capillaries. This will again break into arteriole and capillaries. Now what happened in this point? In the lung, the capillary is lined up with a small sac of air called the alveoli. The lung cell divide up into small sac of air called the alveoli, or singular is the alveolus. Now what happened at this point? What happened? Let suppose this is a single alveolus, this is a sac, and this is, for example, a capillary. Rather, I will draw it. This is a vein, and this is a so what happened when blood enter here? This is the deoxygenated blood. So carbon dioxide here, it will move into the alveoli, alveolus, so this blood which is loaded up with carbon dioxide, which make the blood color dark red. This is the actual dark red color, which conventionally in biology we denote as a blue color. Now at this point of journey, carbon dioxide will move from the blood into the alveolus, and oxygen which is present over here which has been breathed up from air, it will move into the blood oxygen and the blood vessel. This makes the bright red color of the blood. So this flow of blood from the heart toward the lung is for the purpose of oxygen saturation. So the blood which moves from the right ventricle through the pulmonary artery is oxygenated by this process of in the alveolus. Now this oxygen which will come into the capillary, how it is taken up, as we know that in capillary there are RBCs, and in each RBC has a million of hemoglobin molecule, which is a protein hemoglobin. So the hemoglobin molecule are present in each RBC in million, and each hemoglobin molecule can bind to 4 molecules of oxygen. So each RBC can carry up a million of oxygen molecule when it is fully loaded with oxygen. The oxygen rich blood move into the venule and finally into the pulmonary vein that dumps the blood or pumps the blood into the left atrium. This is the left atrium. Now we will start journey from here. For example, this is we will make it simple for the purpose of simplicity. I will draw it a single vein. This is the pulmonary vein that carries oxygenated blood into the left atrium of the heart. This flow of blood from the right ventricle into the lungs and from the lungs to the left atrium, this is called the pulmonary circulation. Now as we know that this blood will move when this atrium, left atrium is contracted, this blood will move into the left ventricle. When left ventricle contracts, this blood will move into the systemic circulation and it will be pumped at the aortic semilunar valve, which normally has 3 cusps, and this blood will be pumped out into the aorta, and aorta branches into these are the carotid arteries which are supplied mainly to the heart and the blood, and this aorta, it branches into many arterioles which are smaller arteries, and finally into the capillary which are smallest arteries. But for simplicity I will draw it as a single line because I have no such space. And these are the smallest arteries, which are called the capillaries. And the capillary bed, what happen at that point? Blood enter into the tissues. For example, these are tissues with us. It require oxygen and nutrients. In the organ, the red blood cell drops off oxygen, so they drops of oxygen and picks up carbon dioxide. Basically, and the reversal happen, which was happening here in the alveolus. The reverse process happens here. So the RBCs are loaded up with carbon dioxide. We can make it in this way. These are small venules, and finally into a larger vein. They will end up into a larger vein. So the blood which was bright red color here is now dark red color, because it has given up most of its oxygen and other nutrients, and has picked up carbon dioxide. So its color become bright and a dark red color again, and start its journey into the venules and vein, and then into the larger vein. Now the lower half of the body is drained by the inferior vena cava, while in the same fashion, same process occur in the upper part of the body, and the upper part of the body is drained by the upper vena cava, and both these vena cava are drained into heart right atrium. So this trip from the aorta, or we can say from the ventricle, left ventricle, and then into the aorta, and then into the whole body systemic circulation, and back into the right atrium. This is called the systemic circulation. This is called the systemic circulation. So as we can see that relative to the pulmonary circulation, this was the pulmonary circulation. In the systemic circulation, there are more and more arteries, veins, arterioles, capillaries, which mean that heart has to do more work as compared to pulmonary circulation, which mean that essentially mean that heart has to do more work and has to pump against this much resistance. Therefore, this layer of the heart is much thicker as compared to the, and stronger as compared to the this left ventricle of the heart is much thicker and stronger as compared to the right ventricle of the heart. So myocardium of the right ventricle, of the left ventricle is 3 times thicker as compared to myocardium of the right ventricle. Thanks for watching.